In a world where everyone is shouting about their every move, there is a rare, almost mystical power in saying nothing at all. The Buddha once taught that the quiet mind holds the deepest strength, for it is not distracted by the noise of the world. Think about it. How many dreams have been destroyed, not because they were impossible, but because they were spoken too soon? Every time you share your plans, you open the door for doubt, envy, and interference to walk in. But when you work in silence, you protect your energy, your vision, and your peace. You become like a hidden mountain, unshaken, unseen, until the day you rise above the clouds for the whole world to see. Today, we will explore 7 powerful Buddhist lessons that will show you why keeping your path silent is not weakness. It's your greatest strength, and how it will make your victory so loud that the world will have no choice but to hear it. Lesson 1. Guard the seed before it grows. When a wise farmer plants a seed, he understands a truth that most people overlook. You never dig it up every day to see if it's growing. If you do, you disturb its roots, weaken its foundation, and risk killing it before it has a chance to live. A seed needs time, stillness, nourishment, and protection beneath the soil before it can grow into something strong and fruitful. The same is true for your dreams, your goals, and your deepest ambitions. They are the seeds you have planted in the fertile soil of your mind. But the moment you expose them too soon, by telling everyone what you're planning or boasting about what you're going to do, you invite forces that can easily harm them. You open the door to criticism that plants doubt inside you, to jealousy that silently wishes for your failure, and even to unconscious sabotage from people who simply cannot understand your vision. Buddhism teaches that the early stages of any path are the most delicate. This is when your dream is like a fragile sprout, small, tender, and vulnerable to being crushed by the slightest pressure. In this stage, it is not yet strong enough to face the storms of negativity, discouragement, or distraction. That's why it must be protected. It must be shielded from unnecessary exposure. Just like a seed thrives in the quiet darkness of the soil, your plans thrive in the privacy of your own heart. This is not about secrecy born from fear. It is about wisdom born from understanding. You are giving your dream the silent space it needs to gather strength, to root itself deeply, and to become unshakable. When you guard your seed in silence, you prevent others from trampling on it before it's ready. You allow it to grow in peace, to be nurtured only by your effort and your faith. And then, one day, without needing to announce it, your dream will break through the surface for the world to see. But by then, it will be strong, too strong to be uprooted by doubt, too deeply rooted to be destroyed by criticism, and too vibrant to be dimmed by envy. That is the silent power of guarding your seed before it grows. Lesson 2. Silence protects you from the noise of others. The world is full of noise, opinions, unsolicited advice, criticism disguised as concern, and judgments from people who barely understand your path. The moment you reveal your plans to others, you invite this noise into your sacred space. Some will tell you why it won't work. Others will compare you to someone who failed. And some, without even realizing it, will plant seeds of doubt in your heart. You might start second-guessing yourself, questioning your abilities, and wondering if your dream is even worth pursuing. This is the danger of exposing your path too soon. You give strangers, friends, and even family a chance to steer you off course before you have found your inner stability. Buddhism teaches that the mind is like still water. When it is calm, it reflects truth clearly. But when disturbed by ripples, it distorts everything. Outside opinions are like stones thrown into your mental waters. They create waves that cloud your vision and make you lose sight of your inner clarity. When you keep your plans private, you protect your mind from these disturbances. You remain connected to your own wisdom instead of being pulled in 1,000 different directions by the voices of others. Silence creates a protective barrier around your focus. It keeps you from wasting precious energy defending your path to people who will never walk it with you. Not everyone is capable of seeing what you see. Not everyone can believe in something before it exists. And if you depend on their understanding or approval, you will slow your progress and weaken your resolve. By choosing silence, you give yourself permission to follow your vision without interference. When you protect yourself from the noise of others, you free your mind to hear the only voices that truly matter, your inner guidance, and the quiet truth that comes from within. This is how you walk your path with peace, clarity, and unshakable purpose. The less noise you allow in, the more focused, powerful, and certain you become. And in that sacred silence, your path unfolds exactly as it should. Lesson 3. Let your results speak louder than your words. In the teachings of the Buddha, there is a profound truth. A wise man is known by his actions, not his proclamations. True greatness doesn't need to announce itself. It reveals itself naturally through results. Think about the rising sun. It doesn't make a sound as it climbs into the sky. It doesn't shout, "I am coming." Yet the entire world feels its light. Your life should be the same. You don't need to tell people how hard you're working or how committed you are. You don't need to constantly explain your vision or defend your dream. The results will be your proof. And when they appear, they will silence every doubt without you having to say a single word. The danger of talking too much about your goals is that words can create a false sense of accomplishment. Many people feel excited after telling others what they're going to do, but that excitement is short-lived. It fades before the work is actually done. Talking can make you feel like you've already taken a step forward, when, in truth, you've only moved your lips. Buddhism teaches us to focus our energy on the doing, not the declaring. Just as a sculptor shapes a block of stone quietly with patient hands, you must shape your dream in silence until the masterpiece is ready for the world to see. There is another reason to let your work speak for itself. People can argue with your words, but they cannot argue with undeniable reality. If you tell people your dream before it's real, they can debate it, mock it, or dismiss it. But when the results stand in front of them, they can't deny what's right before their eyes. Your success, when revealed, will become a statement so loud that no voice of doubt can drown it out. This is why the Buddha reminded his disciples that self-mastery is proven through consistent living, not through endless explanations. Imagine a bamboo plant. For the first several years after planting, there is no visible growth above the ground. People might laugh at the farmer, thinking nothing is happening. But underground, the roots are spreading wide and deep, preparing for a growth so rapid and unstoppable that when it comes, it shocks everyone. One day, almost overnight, the bamboo shoots upward to its full height. That is the quiet power of preparation. That is the power you must embrace. Let the roots of your work spread unseen in the soil of your efforts. Then, when the time comes, your success will rise so fast, so strong, and so high that the same people who doubted you will be left in awe. To live this way requires patience, discipline, and humility. You must be willing to be underestimated for a while. You must be comfortable being unseen while you prepare. You must have the strength to ignore the need for early applause. This is not weakness. It is the highest form of power. Because when the day arrives for you to reveal your work, you will not need to shout. You will not need to prove anything. Your results will speak the loudest words you never said, and those words will echo far longer than any promise you could have made. Lesson 4. Preserve your energy for the work, not the talk. There is a subtle but deadly trap that destroys more dreams than failure ever could. The habit of talking more than you act. Every time you speak about what you are going to do, you release some of the energy that could have gone into actually doing it. It's like carrying a bucket of water to a thirsty garden, but spilling it along the way because you couldn't resist showing it off. By the time you arrive at the plants, there's nothing left to nourish them. The Buddha's path is rooted in mindful action, placing your attention and energy where it matters most, not scattering it in all directions. When you talk excessively about your plans, your mind experiences a psychological illusion of progress. You feel a temporary rush of satisfaction, as if you've already taken steps toward your goal. But in truth, you've only satisfied your ego, not your destiny. And this is dangerous because it drains your motivation before you've even begun. In Buddhism, this is understood as a form of self-deception, believing that words are enough to create change when it is only actions that transform reality. Just as chanting a mantra without embodying its meaning is empty, talking about your dream without working on it is hollow. Energy is the currency of achievement, and it is limited each day. If you spend it defending your ideas to others, explaining your every move, or seeking constant reassurance, you will have less left for the actual work. This is why the Buddha taught mindfulness, to be aware of where your attention flows, because where attention goes, energy follows. And when your energy is spread thin across unnecessary conversations and validations, your dream starves. Silence, therefore, is not only a form of discipline, it is a method of energy conservation. Imagine a great archer preparing for a shot. His focus is absolute. He doesn't shout about how powerful his bow is or how precise his aim will be. He draws the string back in silence, holding his breath, channeling every ounce of his strength into that one moment of release. When the arrow flies, it speaks for him. Your work is the same. The more you keep your process quiet, the more force your results will carry when they finally appear. Buddhism also warns about the karma of wasted speech. Words are not harmless. They shape perception, influence energy, and either strengthen or weaken your resolve. When you speak without necessity, you scatter your focus like a candle in the wind. But when you guard your words, they become like a focused beam of light, powerful, precise, and impossible to ignore. Talking less about your work doesn't just preserve your energy, it sharpens it. There's another hidden benefit. Silence protects you from the spiritual weight of promises you might not keep. Every time you declare what you will do, you bind yourself to that statement in the eyes of others. And if life changes your path, you may feel shame for not delivering exactly as you announced. But if you move quietly, you give yourself the freedom to adjust, adapt, and grow without the pressure of outside expectations. The Buddha lived this truth. He walked steadily, mindfully, never rushing to explain, always letting his actions carry the weight of his message. To master this lesson, you must learn to be comfortable with being misunderstood for a while. You must resist the urge to constantly update people on your progress. You must pour your strength into the actual building of your path, knowing that when it is complete, it will speak louder than anything you could say today. In the end, talking about your dream does not build it. Your energy does. And the more of that energy you preserve for the work itself, the more unstoppable your dream will become. So, hold your words. Guard your focus. Let your silence be the forge where your destiny is shaped. And when the time comes to reveal what you have created, it will strike the world with the force of an arrow released from years of perfect aim. Lesson 5. Protect your vision from the thieves of doubt. There are thieves in this world far more dangerous than those who steal possessions. They are the ones who steal your clarity, your confidence, and your courage. They do not break into your home with force. They walk freely into your mind with a smile, a concerned look, or a casual comment that plants a seed of doubt. And doubt, once planted, is one of the most stubborn weeds to remove. In Buddhism, the mind is often compared to a garden. What grows there depends entirely on what you plant and what you allow to take root. If you speak too soon about your goals, you are throwing open the gate of your garden for anyone to walk in. And not everyone who enters will plant flowers. Some will, knowingly or unknowingly, drop seeds of weeds that can choke the life from your vision before it has even begun to bloom. The most dangerous part? These thieves often look like friends. They might be your family, your colleagues, even the people who love you. They might not mean harm, but they speak from their own fears, their own failures, and their own limitations. They might say things like, "That's too risky. What if you fail?" Or, "People don't succeed in things like that." And even if you dismiss their words in the moment, they have already begun to whisper in the back of your mind when you're alone. You may begin to second-guess yourself, not because you lost faith, but because you allowed someone else's fear to mingle with your own thoughts. Buddhism teaches the importance of right speech, to speak only when your words are true, necessary, and beneficial. But it also teaches the wisdom of right silence, knowing when to say nothing at all. When your vision is still in its fragile beginnings, right silence is your strongest defense. By keeping your plans to yourself, you protect them from being shaped, twisted, or diminished by the perspectives of others. Your silence becomes a shield against all the subtle, invisible forces that can weaken your resolve: doubt, comparison, jealousy, and premature judgment. And jealousy is a force you must never underestimate. When you share your plans, you may awaken envy in others without realizing it. Not everyone wants to see you succeed. Some may feel threatened by the idea of you reaching higher than they have. They may smile to your face, yet inwardly hope you stumble, because your progress reminds them of the dreams they abandoned. In Buddhist understanding, intention carries an energetic weight, and even silent ill will can cloud the path of the unprepared. By keeping your vision private, you keep it pure, free from the influence of energies that would rather see it fail. Think of your dream as a candle in its earliest moments. Its flame is small, flickering, and delicate. If you carry it out into the wind too soon, the smallest breeze will extinguish it. But if you cup your hands around it, shielding it from every gust, it will grow stronger. Over time, it will burn so brightly that no storm can put it out. That is what your silence does for your vision. It is the cupped hand protecting the flame until it is unshakable. There's another danger in speaking too soon. You risk becoming trapped by your own words. Every time you declare what you will do, you place yourself under the invisible pressure of expectation, your own and that of others. And life, as you know, does not always follow a straight path. Sometimes your dream will evolve, shift, or take a completely different shape than you first imagined. If you have already announced it to the world, you may feel embarrassed or ashamed to change direction, even when change is the right choice. Silence gives you the freedom to grow without the weight of public opinion holding you hostage. And perhaps the greatest benefit of protecting your vision in silence is that it forces you to rely on yourself. When you keep your plans close to your heart, you are no longer building them on the foundation of applause, approval, or external validation. You are building them from pure self-belief and inner discipline. You are watering your own garden, not waiting for someone else to bring the rain. This creates a kind of inner power that no one can take away from you, because it does not depend on anyone else's permission to exist. So before you speak of your dream, ask yourself, is it strong enough to stand on its own yet? Or does it still need the quiet shelter of my silence? Remember, thieves can only steal what they can see. Keep your treasures hidden until they are beyond the reach of doubt, envy, and interference. Guard your vision as you would guard your most sacred possession, because in truth, it is. Lesson 6. The power of silent momentum. In life, there is a rhythm that belongs to you alone. A steady, quiet pulse that fuels your progress, invisible to the outside world. This is what I call silent momentum. It is the force you build, not by showing, but by doing. It's the strength gathered in the stillness of early mornings, the hours of dedication while the world sleeps, the invisible sacrifices that stack silently until they form the unshakable foundation of your success. In Buddhism, we are reminded that the most profound transformations happen quietly. The seed does not announce itself before breaking the soil, and the tree does not shout before bearing fruit. Real growth is silent, and so is real power. The mistake many make is believing that progress must be visible to be real. We live in a time where people are obsessed with updates, constantly announcing their next move, explaining their every step, broadcasting their plans for all to see. But the truth is, every time you announce what you will do, you give away a piece of your power. You invite the world into your sacred space of creation, and not everyone who enters comes with blessings. Some bring curiosity that distracts you. Some bring doubt that unsettles you. Some bring jealousy that subtly undermines you. And all of this noise, if you let it in, weakens the very momentum you're trying to build. Silent momentum frees you from this trap. When no one knows the details of your journey, you move without resistance. You are not slowed by questions like, "How is it going?" or "Have you achieved it yet?" You are not pressured to prove your progress before it's ready. You move like water, flowing, shaping, and adapting without needing to explain yourself. This is how great rivers carve valleys and feed lands, quietly, patiently, without needing applause. There's another danger in speaking too soon: the illusion of progress. Modern psychology confirms what Buddhism has long understood. When you talk about your goals, you trick your brain into feeling a sense of accomplishment simply by announcing them. It gives you a false satisfaction, as if the work is already done. But when you keep them to yourself, there is no such illusion. The only satisfaction you feel is the one earned from real effort and tangible progress. This keeps your hunger alive, your discipline sharp, and your will unshakable. And silent momentum does more than protect you from others. It protects you from yourself. It keeps you humble. It stops you from chasing validation instead of results. It ensures that your work remains the priority, not the attention it brings. When you work in silence, your victories feel purer, because they are not built on the fragile foundation of applause. They are built on the solid ground of persistence, discipline, and truth. Think of a great artist who works for years in private before unveiling a masterpiece. The moment the world sees it, they are in awe because they never saw the struggle, the mistakes, the countless revisions that shaped it. They see only the perfection of the finished work. This is the gift of silent momentum. You are shaping something so strong, so refined, that when it finally appears, it arrives beyond criticism, beyond doubt. In Buddhist thought, silence is not emptiness, it is potential. It is the womb in which transformation happens. Your silent momentum is the force gathering in that space. Every day you work in quiet dedication, you are storing power like water behind a dam. And when the right moment comes, when you choose to open the gates, that force will pour out in a flood so undeniable, so unstoppable, that no one will question how you got there. They will only stand in wonder at the strength of your arrival. This is the ultimate advantage of silent momentum. It is invisible until it is overwhelming. It is underestimated until it is undeniable. It is mocked until it is mastered. And when it finally reveals itself, it does not knock politely. It arrives like a wave, reshaping everything in its path. So move quietly, work deeply, and let your victories be the loudest thing about you. Lesson 7. Let success announce you. The greatest victories in life do not need a drum roll. They do not need an introduction, a warning, or a spotlight. They arrive like the sunrise, quietly, without permission, yet impossible to ignore. This is the highest art of the silent path, to let your success speak for itself. In Buddhism, this is the natural unfolding of cause and effect. You plant the seeds, you nurture them in the hidden soil of your daily discipline, and when the time is right, the flowers bloom. You don't need to stand in the field and shout, "Look, I've planted something," because the flowers themselves will declare it to the world. When you tell people about your plans before you have lived them, you give away not only your privacy, but also your element of surprise. And surprise is a form of power. The most profound transformations, whether in people, careers, or destinies, are those that no one saw coming. You leave quietly, you work silently, and then one day you appear so changed, so elevated, so undeniably accomplished that people are left speechless. They don't remember when you started. They only see where you've arrived. That is the impact of letting your success announce you. There's a deeper reason why silence until success is so powerful. It removes the pressure of expectation. When others know your goals, they begin to measure you against them. Every step is watched, every delay is questioned, every choice is judged. This creates a heavy, invisible chain around your progress. But when you walk your path in silence, you are free. You are not bound by anyone's timeline but your own. You can take detours, make mistakes, and refine your path without the world looking over your shoulder. This freedom allows you to move more boldly, take greater risks, and ultimately achieve more than you would under the scrutiny of constant eyes. In Buddhist practice, we are reminded that attachment creates suffering. And one of the most subtle attachments is the desire to be seen, to be acknowledged while we are still on the way. But that craving for recognition is a trap. It ties your self-worth to applause, rather than to the quiet satisfaction of true accomplishment. Letting success announce you breaks that attachment. It teaches you to value the work for its own sake, to find joy in the process rather than in the praise. And when you reach your destination, the joy will be all the sweeter because you will know you did it not for them, but for yourself. Another layer of wisdom here is that silence protects you from sabotage, both intentional and unintentional. Not everyone will celebrate your rise. Some will resent it. Some will try to slow you down, distract you, or plant doubt in your mind. And even those who love you can unintentionally project their fears and insecurities onto your path. By keeping your journey private, you close the door to all of this. You become like a fortress with no open gates, quietly building strength inside until the moment you are ready to emerge. Letting success announce you is not about arrogance. It is about authenticity. It is about creating something so real, so undeniable, that it needs no defense, no justification, no promotion. Think of the great masters in history. They did not spend their lives explaining what they would do. They spent their lives doing it. And when the results came, they stood on their own. A Buddhist monk who has reached deep enlightenment does not walk into the village declaring, "I am enlightened." His presence alone radiates it. His calmness, his clarity, his way of being tells the story better than words ever could. The irony is that when you stop trying to prove yourself, the proof becomes obvious. When you stop announcing your goals, your results become more visible. People will notice the changes in you, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the way you handle life. They will ask, "What happened? How did you become like this?" And in that moment, you will know. You never needed to tell them before. They can see it now. Your life has become the announcement. And the beauty is that when success announces you, it is permanent. Words can be forgotten, promises can be dismissed, but lived reality cannot be denied. No one can argue with a tree in full bloom. No one can doubt the sunrise when they feel its warmth. No one can question your growth when they see it with their own eyes. So protect your work in its infancy. Hide it in the quiet shelter of your discipline. Let it grow roots so deep that nothing can shake it. Then, when the time comes, step forward without fanfare and let your success speak in the universal language that needs no translation. Results. The world will see you, they will hear you, and they will respect you. Not because you told them you were coming, but because you arrived in full glory, unannounced, unshakable, and undeniable. Conclusion. In the end, my friend, the journey of silence is not about hiding from the world. It is about protecting what is sacred until it is unshakable. The Buddha taught that even the tallest tree begins as a seed in darkness. And in the same way, your dreams must begin in the shelter of your own heart. You learn to guard the seed before it grows, to protect your energy from those who cannot yet see your vision, to move without explaining, and to walk without seeking validation. You understood the need to master the art of silent momentum, and finally, to let your success be the loudest thing about you. These 7 lessons are not rules for one season of your life. They are a way of living, because every time you hold your plans close, you give them the space to grow freely. Every time you choose silence over noise, you grow stronger within. Every time you work in private, you build a foundation no one can tear down. And when the day comes for your work to meet the world, it will need no introduction. Your results will speak, your presence will speak, your life will speak. Remember this, you are not in competition with anyone. You are in cultivation of yourself. Do not rush to be seen. Instead, work so deeply, so silently, that when the world finally sees you, you are already far beyond their expectations. The river does not explain its flow, the flower does not justify its bloom, and the sun does not ask permission to rise. They simply are. Be like them. Let your life be the proof. Let your success be the announcement. And until that day, move in silence, build in silence, win in silence, and let the whole world meet you only when you are ready to shine.